Hey guys, how's it going? Tom here, and this is training day 6. Alright guys, thank you for joining me. So it is training day 6, and yet again I have decided to mix things up a little. I thought I'm gonna snap a nail to start the session. I think that's probably a really good way to warm up and get my hands and wrists nice and warmed up for the session. So I've just got a normal like 60D or 6-inch nail here, which hopefully I should be able to do in under 30 seconds, but it's been quite a while, so I suppose we'll see. I better take this off just for now, otherwise it might sound like I'm having some kind of heart attack.
Talk to me, show me all that hurts you deep. Soak my shirt in all your tears, so I can talk with you.
Right, well, there we go, made a meal of that. I was just trying to sort of remember the technique for doing it, and I was opening it far too less at the start. You've really got to open it up as far as you can to stretch the steel, but I'll definitely improve on that next time. I'll shave at least 15 seconds off. Whew. But nail bending, nail snapping is a really good way to build up your cardiovascular endurance as well. As you can see, that's taken me, I don't know, about a minute there. I think my best time for snapping one of those is about 15 seconds, so I've got a bit of catching up to do, but you know, there's not really a better way to progress your hand, forearm, wrist strength, your cardiovascular strength than by snapping and bending steel. It's a really fun and weird hobby to be into. But anyway, that's that out the way, so I'm just gonna go into my hand gripper now, another little warm up with these. Just do a few squeezes and then we'll get into the working sets.
Breathe to me, tales of things that haunt your dreams. Set the brush and paint the scene, so I can breathe with.
Right, so that's my warm up done. My hands are feeling a bit tired today. We filmed a podcast with Joe Sterling and Paddy yesterday, so it was quite a long day, and I got like 2 little mini training sessions in. Me and Joe went through all the events for the Grip League, just to see sort of where he's at and how he's going with his training. He's doing really well on everything really, so he's definitely going to be in contention for the bodyweight winner, I think. I think he weighs about 78 kilos, and he lifted on the 50mm rolling handle. Just realised, shouldn't be saying what he was lifting because he might want to keep it under wraps, so I'll bleep that bit out there. But anyway, I'm going to get into my working sets. I'm going to step up to the elite number 5 today for 5 sets of 2. I'll start with just 1 set at the number 4, and then I'm going to do 5 sets of 2 with the elite number 5.
The gravel spikes your feet. The cloth wraps on your knees. So darling, when the rain comes crashing in, I'll be right here and listen to you sing.
Right, on to the last set. I thought I'd just try and get a little bit closer to this one if I can. Just to show you sort of how I'm doing these 5 sets of 2 on the hand grippers. So I'll always put it in my set position as normal. I'll set it to where I feel pretty comfortable. It's almost getting my pinky ready just to wrap round. So that's my sort of preferred set position where I try to close from. So I'll close it, that's my first rep. I'll open it and then close again, and that'll be my second rep. So that's what I'm trying to do with those really. I'll do it a lot quicker than that normally, but that's sort of how I'm training those 5 sets of 2. and they seem to work for me really well. Not on the left because we're stuck on the number 4, but let's just finish this. Right, there we go. So we are rolling handle today, starting off at a nice easy 70 kilos and working up in 2.5 increments. So that'll be finishing on 82.5, which is a really nice easy weight for me to start on there. So we should blast through this with ease really. So I'll start my warm-ups and then we'll see how it goes with the working sets. Right, there we are, 70-ish kilos, just above. I feel like 70 might be a bit low to do the working sets from today, but again, I guess we'll just see how they go. I'm thinking to maybe up that to 75. I don't know why I put 70, that seems very low. I'll see how this feels, and I guess that'll give me an indication of where we're at. Maybe it is about right. My back's feeling a bit tired from yesterday, so I'll just chuck a 2.5 on. Just remembered then actually, someone left a comment on a previous video just asking how to chalk up their implements really and what the best way to do it is. So this is like the most weathered pinch block we have here, and it's perfectly seasoned. It's got a bit of rust on it and loads of chalk, a bit of sweat, blood and tears on it all. So that's what you want really. This is a relatively, I guess, clean one you'd call it. It has got a little bit of rust on it, which you want. But as far as chalking the implements goes, I like to put like a little, just check you can see. Yeah, I like to put like a little, I guess, little pile of chalk on it, and then you just kind of massage it in to the texture. We build the texture on the pinch blocks and all the other grip tools to sort of take chalk really well. So if you just like work it round on the implement at the start, it gives you a really grippy sort of feel. One thing I would try and avoid is using liquid chalk, because it makes it a lot slippier, and the ingredients in liquid chalk can really vary. So you can have loads of resin in it, which is just going to stick in the texture and make it really smooth over time, and it's almost going to repel what you're trying to do to it, which is weather it a bit and get the chalk embedded in it. But you just need to use powdered chalk, sort of massage it in once you first get it, and you're trying to just create that little thin layer of chalk that just sticks to your hands as well as the pinch block. Another thing is, don't use too much chalk. You can use too much, it'll just again make things slippier. I always try and blow the excess off my hands, and you might have noticed when I'm lifting the pinch block, I sort of try and brush it off a bit at the start of each rep. That just gets any excess chalk off that's going to cause my hands to slip. But yeah, they're the basics really. Avoid liquid chalk, give your grip tool a bit of a massage, get the chalk nice and packed into it. You really want to try and do that at the start of every session, and over maybe a couple of months you'll really start to get like a good seasoning on the grip tools, and that's when you start feeling a lot more comfortable. Like that pinch block's just so nice to lift, it feels perfect really. But we've had that for I think probably 5 years now, so it's like the ultimate seasoning on that. Another thing is, you want to sort of try and chalk areas of your hand where you're feeling like you're slipping most. So for me on the rolling handle, I don't really find that my hand slips as such, but I'll always try and make sure I've got plenty of chalk on my thumb, because that's where you're getting quite a lot of your grip. So I'll try and chalk like the inner part of my thumb, because if you imagine you sort of wrap around it, your thumb's kind of the anchor onto the rolling handle. So I'd try and chalk in there, and then your fingers obviously. With the pinch block, a really good way to sort of think where about you need to chalk is, you just hold the block, pull it in your hand a bit, and then once you let go, you can sort of see the areas in your hand where the chalk's been pulled off. So that's where you need to put it. Usually it's on the inner part of your thumb here, so like the inside. That's sort of the key area where you're going over the top of the pinch block. With regards to the hub, again, I find a massive amount of chalk doesn't seem to help that much. But again, it's mainly the thumb that you want to keep chalked up, because that's sort of the anchor for the lift. You're putting the power through the fingers, and then the thumb is acting as the anchor to sort of keep everything together. So, hope that helps. You can get really nerdy talking about chalk with like chalk whispering and stuff like that, but as long as you're just not going too mad with it, don't use liquid chalk. Try and get a little bit of rust on there, a little bit of seasoning, and it'll be perfect. But set number 2 for me, so let's see how this goes. Pretty good. It's feeling comfortable in the hand, but I can definitely feel like the lower back and like my mid upper back feeling a bit strained after yesterday. It could even be from doing with the fabric loading pin the other day. That was yesterday actually, so that could be why I'm feeling a bit of extra strain there from the longer range of motion. But I'll just have a minute rest here and then get into set number 3. Set number 3, we're at about 78 kilos now, so I should still be feeling pretty easy. Nice. You know it's comfortable when it's still feeling pretty easy on my left, but another 2.5 going on. That'll take us up to 80-ish anyway. So what I've just realised by looking at the board, I was thinking, this is quite a lightweight, it feels really easy. And I was thinking, I'm going to have to put the weight up on this, but I think I'm supposed to be doing the 2-second holds at the top of each rep here. So I'll throw them into the last set at least, but yeah, I did forget about that. So we are at, what are we at, 50, 60, 70, 80, it's probably about 83, so we're only a kilo or so above what we're supposed to be, but a 2-second hold at the top this time. Last set, best set. 1, 2. 1, 2. Nice and easy. Left arm, come on. 1, 2. 1, 2. Right, well, success at least on the last set, but I'll make a note of that because I haven't wrote the 2-second hold, so yeah, I'll have to get that changed. But we have vertical bar next, which is max weight, no holds today, thankfully, on them. So we're starting off at 80 and working up from there in 2.5s. Might as well just start it at this while it's loaded on. So yeah, let's get into the vertical bar. Also yesterday, the BNSF Strongman competition in the UK announced one of their events is a vertical bar hold. It's pretty much the same as what we're doing in the Qualifier, but they're putting the max weight at 90 kilos. So that's going to be really challenging for a lot of the guys there, especially the ones that haven't trained any grip or anything like that. So that's going to be really interesting to see what sort of numbers and times they come up with over the weekend there. But exciting. I think it's a really challenging event. It's different, and endurance is something that a lot of people sort of find comes naturally to them, and I think that's purely down to the way they train. I train sort of quite a few low reps, but I like to put in some holds for time as well. So I find I'm pretty average, where I know a lot of guys do a lot of high rep work, like Sam Parker does a lot of high reps, fat muscle, sorry. So his endurance is really, really good. And I know some guys have just terrible endurance, and that's down to the way they train. But I'm going to work up 5 sets of 2 here, starting off at just over 80. Should feel pretty comfortable. But let's see. Whew. Lefty's struggling a bit. Let's get 2.5 on and then have a little minute rest and get straight back into it. Set number 2, about 85 kilos in total. Nice. That felt easier than the first actually, which is good. Come on, left. Well, at least it got it up, but that was feeling like pretty much max. The right should have plenty left in the tank. So let's load on another 2.5. In fact, word on the street is Stanley Hamilton is going to be coming down to the qualifier at Bionic. He is a really, really vertical bar specialist, I'd say. Probably the best, especially at his bodyweight, I know that's sort of in the grip world. He's a professional arm wrestler from Ireland, and it's really exciting to sort of see what sort of number he can put up on the hold. I feel like he's going to be really dangerous for potentially winning the bodyweight winner. I know I mentioned earlier about Joe, but Stanley, again, it's going to be a really tough battle between those two. I can't really think of anyone else who's going to be on their sort of bodyweight level. But yeah, that's really exciting. It's good to see these sort of names that Stanley, you know, he's well known for his vertical bar lifting, but I'm sure he's really going to be honing his skills on like the rolling handle and the pinch block as well to breeze through the qualifier, and then it'll be good to see what he can do in the final. So I'm looking forward to that. It's just a bit of extra motivation as well to sort of, for everyone, I think, once you sort of see who's coming into the final, it's like, oh, it's actually quite a serious competition, especially if you're trying to win the overall winner or the overall bodyweight winner. I think it's a great thing, and you know, the prizes as well, just an extra little cherry on the cake. But set number 3 here, we're probably at about 88 kilos. Feel like it's getting easier. That was a bit soft. Oh, God, no. Lefty just can't manage it. I resorted to a slightly higher hold on the vertical bar there, which is what I used to do to try and sort of reduce the range of motion. I know I've changed my technique up for the holds where I'll go a bit lower, but I think for like 1 rep maxes, I'll stick to the high grip. So that's, yeah, it's an interesting one, this. I was speaking to Joe about it yesterday, and he didn't really notice any difference at all where he put his hand, but it could just be a mental thing for me. But let me know sort of what position you prefer, if you like going high or if you prefer going low, or if it doesn't really make any difference. So set number 4 here. I'll just have a quick minute rest again and get back into it. Right, set number 4, and put a bit of chalk on for this one actually. I think we're just over 90 kilos, probably 92, 93, something like that. So should be still a nice easy double. Yeah, nice. It's feeling good actually, this now. The first set felt a bit ropey to be honest. I think, what was that, just at like 82 kilos, but at 92-ish there, that feels really nice. My hand feels really comfortable and strong holding the weight. So last set will be towards 95, but the numbers on the board there are pretty right. So I'll give that a big tick. Just need to remember to do the hold on the rolling handle next time. That was a bit silly of me, but nothing lost. I did a little bit of training yesterday with Joe and Paddy, so we'll catch up, no problem. Right, on to the last set. Felt a little bit heavy there, that actually, but that's it. I feel like I've absolutely blasted through that session today with hardly any rest in between. But another one ticked off. Got the rest of the day to sort of recover now. I say recover, I've got to carry a load of steel work round, and so a bit more loading, but I'll get all that ticked off the board. I'll change the rolling handle with the holds for time, and then I'm back tomorrow for another pinch day, episode 7. I'll see you then.